The bridge at midnight. It was late autumn when Daniel first saw her on the old stone bridge. The leaves had fallen in golden piles around the riverbank, and the moonlight made the water shimmer like silver. She stood there quietly, sketchbook in hand, drawing the reflections in the stream. Daniel, who had been taking midnight walks to clear his thoughts, hesitated. Something about the way she leaned on the railing, so absorbed in her art, made him pause. Gathering courage, he asked softly, "What are you drawing?" Startled, she looked up. Her eyes, calm yet curious, met his. "The river," she said with a smile. "It keeps changing, but I want to catch just one moment." That night was the first of many. Every few evenings, they met on the bridge, sometimes by accident, sometimes by quiet intention. They spoke about little things, the books they loved, the dreams they carried, the fears they rarely shared with anyone else. Daniel discovered her name was Clara, an art student who often came here for inspiration. Clara learned Daniel worked long hours but found peace only near the river. Slowly, the bridge became theirs. One evening, rain poured heavily. Daniel almost didn't go, but something pulled him there. Clara was already waiting, drenched but laughing, trying to sketch under her umbrella. Daniel rushed to her side, holding his jacket above her. "You'll ruin your book," he said. "And you'll ruin your jacket," she teased. In that moment, with the rain drumming around them, he realized how much she meant to him. Without thinking, he whispered, "Clara, I don't just want to share this bridge with you. I want to share everything." She stared at him, eyes glistening, not from rain this time. Then she closed her sketchbook, slipped her hand into his, and said, "Then don't let go." Years later, whenever they crossed the old stone bridge, now worn and cracked, Daniel would smile at Clara, remembering that rainy night. She still carried her sketchbook, though most of the pages now held drawings of him. And the bridge remained their quiet witness, the place where two strangers found something worth holding on to forever. The bridge at dawn. Amelia had always loved the old stone bridge at the edge of town. It was quiet, hidden away from the noise, and every morning she walked there with her sketchbook, hoping to catch the colors of dawn on paper. One morning, she wasn't alone. A man stood by the railing, his camera pointed at the rising sun. His presence startled her, yet there was something gentle about the way he moved, careful not to disturb the stillness. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said, lowering the camera. His voice carried warmth, like the first light of day. She nodded, shy. "I come here to draw. It feels like the world forgets this place." He smiled. "Maybe the world saves it for people like us." His name was Daniel, a photographer traveling through towns to capture places time had forgotten. What began as brief conversations on the bridge turned into shared mornings, her sketching, him adjusting his lenses, silence flowing easily between them. One dawn, rain threatened the sky. She rushed to the bridge, worried he wouldn't come. But Daniel was there, umbrella in hand, waiting. He offered it to her with a quiet grin. They stood beneath it together as rain danced on the river below. Amelia thought she had never felt so close to someone, even without words. As weeks passed, their bond deepened. Yet, Daniel's journey was never meant to last, he had to move on. On his last morning, he placed a photograph in her hands, a shot of her, sitting on the bridge, sketchbook open, sunlight crowning her hair. "I wanted you to see yourself the way I see you," he said softly. Her eyes stung with unshed tears. "And if you never return?" Daniel touched her hand, lingering. "Then this bridge will always be our place." and maybe one day, I'll find my way back. She watched him leave, the bridge suddenly too quiet, yet filled with memory. Every morning after, Amelia still came to sketch, because in every line, every shade of dawn, she felt him there. And sometimes, that was enough. The bridge at sunset. Evelyn had always loved the old stone bridge on the edge of town. Every evening after work, she would walk there to watch the river reflect the colors of the fading sky. It was quiet, timeless, a place where her thoughts could drift without interruption. One autumn evening, as the air carried the scent of fallen leaves, she noticed someone else standing at the railing. A young man with a sketchbook balanced on his arm was carefully drawing the river. His brow furrowed in concentration, but his expression softened when he noticed her. "Beautiful view, isn't it?" he said, his voice warm. She nodded, smiling politely. "I come here almost every day. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone try to capture it on paper." He chuckled. "I'm Daniel. I sketch places I don't want to forget. Maybe that's why I ended up here." From that evening on, their paths seemed destined to cross. Evelyn would find him there often, sketching bridges, trees, even the outline of her silhouette against the horizon. At first, she teased him for including her in his drawings. But slowly, she realized she didn't mind. As days turned into weeks, their conversations deepened. He told her about leaving a busy city life behind, seeking a slower rhythm. She shared stories of growing up by the river, of her love for books and quiet places. What began as chance meetings grew into something steady, like the current of the water beneath them. One evening, the sky was painted in shades of rose and gold, and the air was crisp with the promise of winter. Evelyn leaned on the railing, watching the light fade. Daniel closed his sketchbook and looked at her. "You know," he said softly, "I came here to remember a place. But lately, I think I've been trying to remember you." Her heart tightened in the sweetest way. She turned toward him, meeting his gaze. His eyes held both nervousness and hope, as though the whole world rested on her reply. Evelyn reached for his hand. "Then let's not just remember. Let's build something worth keeping." The river flowed beneath them, endless and sure, as the first stars appeared overhead. And on that bridge, where two strangers had once stood apart, a story quietly began, one sketched not on paper, but in the rhythm of two hearts finding home. lost in thought, a voice broke the silence. "Beautiful, isn't it?" She turned and saw a man with kind eyes and a slightly nervous smile. His name was Daniel, a painter who had just moved into town. He explained he was searching for inspiration and found himself drawn to the same bridge. From that night on, they began meeting there unintentionally, and soon intentionally. Their conversations flowed as easily as the river below. He told her about the cities he had lived in, the colors he chased with his brush. She shared her love for forgotten books and the stories hidden in them. Weeks passed, and Daniel began bringing his sketchbook. Evelyn would sit beside him as he painted the sunsets. One evening, he turned the canvas toward her, not the bridge, not the river, but her. "I wanted to paint what makes this place beautiful to me," he admitted. Her cheeks warmed, and for the first time, she didn't look away. The air between them felt charged, fragile yet undeniable. Then came the night of the first snow. Evelyn stood on the bridge waiting, uncertain if Daniel would appear in the cold. But he came, carrying a lantern that glowed softly in the dark. Snowflakes clung to his hair as he walked up to her, breathless. "I don't need the sunsets anymore," he said quietly. "I only need you." Her heart stumbled, then steadied in the warmth of his words. She reached for his hand, fingers trembling yet certain. In that moment, the bridge no